This episode of Planted is brought to you by Yorma's Choice.
The Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Planted with Sara Pion. I'm Sara Pion, your host, and today we have actor, activist, comedy icon, and the founder of Belushi's Farm, Jim Belushi. Jim, welcome to the show. I am so excited to see you and to get to talk with you today. And you are sitting in a very beautiful place.
Yes. Befitting of an icon. I've never been called an icon, comic icon. Wow.
What do you think? I mean, you've done a lot.
I can't wear that one. Comic actor, I'll take. But I am sitting in Martha's Vineyard right now. Actually, the sad news at Martha's Vineyard is they just closed their grow here and dispensary because it's an island and the ferry goes across the water, which is federal waters, and they can't bring cannabis from other cultivations and other manufacturers in Massachusetts to the island. And it's terrible because it's a legal state, but they can't travel over the water. But they do in Seattle.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a shame because I know the guy and he's really dedicated and quite a beautiful man. And anyway, maybe with the schedule, one thing changing up, maybe you can revive it, bring it across the water.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you think about it, I guess, the Coast Guard isn't going to be so excited about having to watch for everybody, but we've got a lot of changes that we need to make around that. I want to get into that, but before we do, I want to ask you a question I ask all my guests. What was your first cannabis experience?
I'm trying to remember it. I remember Adam Macias. I think it was 8th grade or freshman year, and had a skinny little joint, and I didn't get high. So I didn't think it was, it was probably just, some Indiana ragweed, I don't know what it was. And I don't remember after that. I just don't remember. But I think it was not too long after that. But I really don't remember.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, not an exciting story, but
no, but that's the thing. Like, everybody has a different story. Some people were blown away by it, other people not so much. I know for me, I didn't get high, and I actually went and asked the guy back for my money, and he's like,
right?
Yeah, he took the weed, and I never
Adam,
got the money.
You got ripped off, man. Adam, you got ripped off. This stuff is shit, man. What is this stuff? I think it was like the 3rd or 4th time with Mickey Murray over by Edison Junior High. I think we smoked in the back by the baseball diamond at night. He lived like 2 blocks from there. I think that was it. And we were right behind the cemetery too. So it was an eerie place to get high for the first time, But yeah. I think it was okay. Because then I continued. And then I continued to the point where I got busted like 3 times in my little town.
Where were you?
Wheaton, Illinois.
Oh, yeah, the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest too, and I'm from Upper Michigan, and it was really strict there.
Well, but Wheaton was, it was a dry town. It was voted in 1967 as the All-American City. They had as many churches as gas stations. And my dad moved us from downtown Chicago because he didn't want me to be in gangs. And so I ended up being the crime rate in Wheaton. They used to follow me. In my car. And I mean, I was delivering pizzas one time and they pulled me over. It's like, come on, man, I'm just trying to make $1.75 an hour. Leave me alone. They busted me one time when I was dressed as Santa Claus. I was doing Santa Claus on Christmas Eve to make a little money during college. I mean, they were rough on me, but they were like following me or something. I don't know. Anytime I lit a joint, they were like, oh, but nothing ever happened. You know, I mean, you know, it was a wealthy county community, and what was terrific about that community was that anytime I got arrested, they always had something to put me in. Like I went to just like in that song in West Side Story, Dear Sergeant Cruppy. I went to a social worker. I went to a psychiatrist. I went to group therapy. I had probation officers. And what I realized that through those 4 years of school, high school, I had a man to talk to every week. And I really credit these gentlemen for kind of mentoring me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm grateful I make fun of the community, but I'm also grateful that they didn't throw me in jail like they throw a bunch of other people in jail, you know? So it was, so even cannabis back then brought me to new enlightenment.
Isn't it funny when you're younger and I now I think that when kids get into things, they should realize that, the precocious kids are the creatives, and maybe they should just throw you into a theater class or something.
That's what I did. I went right in.
Yeah, same. Same.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that saved my ass was that theater class. That really did. Mr. Shomas, Mr. Greenberg, they really. And then in junior college, Richard Holgate, E.F. Johnson, they really took me under their wing. And I was very fortunate to have some beautiful men and women that mentored me because I was one troubled kid. I mean, I was a juvenile delinquent. I was a ward of the court. I spent 3 days in jail. The judge was so tired of me, so tired of seeing me. He said, "What are you doing the weekend of June 15th?" That's my birthday, right? I think he's going to take me fishing or something. I said, "Nothing, Your Honor." And he goes, "Report to the county jail on Friday at 6 and released Sunday at noon." Woo!
Wow.
That's all I needed. I never got in trouble again. I walked out of there, and my God, I picked up litter on the street. That's how much that scared me. But they did. It was like the judge couldn't understand because I was in the theater. I'd played football. I had, B average. I never missed school. I wasn't truant. And all my little crimes or my little, offenses, they were victimless. There wasn't anybody getting hurt. I wasn't breaking into houses, stealing my parents' car, got busted. Just a little shoplifting, a little stuff. I got in a fight with a guy one time. So they straightened me out. I really, really, Judge Nolan was his name.
Well, it sounds like he had the insight to know that you were a good kid with just a little extra time on your hands, that you had to work stuff out.
Yeah, just looking for attention. He gave it to me.
Well,
ironically, when I went to the junior college, after that, I was scared straight. And I went to junior college in Glen Ellen next to Wheaton. And I did a play called Born Yesterday, the lead. And it was a big play. And Judge Nolan came to one of the performances.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, "Hey, Judge." And a nice smile on his face. And I think he felt like he did the right thing by me. And he did.
Absolutely. Every time I put up something about cannabis in the podcast, my 4th grade teacher always loves it. And I think...
That's funny.
It's always wonderful to have those people in your life that root for you and really, have your best interest at heart.
Yeah, they really did. I couldn't see what they saw, but they saw something, and they, come on, it's all about love. They loved me. They were so loving to me and generous and kind. These men and women that teach, especially at the junior college level, I mean, they are there for you. They really understand you're learning. I was a difficult learner, a little dyslexia, a little audio processing, whatever it was. Who knew back then?
Right.
But they found a way to teach me and give me direction. They were beautiful people.
how did you get into cannabis? I mean, you've had this rich career, you've done so much, and I know, you've enjoyed it, but what made you decide to actually get into cultivation and step into this strange world where I lovingly refer to our colleagues as part carny?
Yeah, right. Well, I bought this farm in Oregon on the Rogue River. I bought this property, and then the farm behind me came up, and I bought that 80 acres, and I didn't know what to do with it. But I attached it to my properties. I have 93 acres on the river. That's the way I looked at it. But it's a farm. And Dan Aykroyd, who said, Jimmy, you know what? Cannabis is legal now in Oregon. You should grow some cannabis. And I went, I guess so. I mean, there was a guy I know. He goes, no, Captain Jack. He's got the finest strains in America. He went to Afghanistan and he brought back these seeds. It's the most cheesy, skunky, beautiful weed. We smoked it at Saturday Night Live and came up with some of the most brilliant ideas. So he put me with Captain Jack. And we started growing. It was just a medical grow. And then, this feminine energy from the plant leads you to where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So as I began my relationship with the plant, it's just started to grow, and angels unawares appeared and taught me about the medicine and the healing. I'd go to dispensaries and I'd meet people and hear their stories, and they were just so moving. It's like, wow, this stuff is powerful. This can really heal our community. 25% of wherever there's a dispensary, the opiate overdoses go down 25%.
Yeah, they do.
Then my brother died of a drug overdose. If he was just a pothead, he'd be alive today,
Yeah,
but,
I saw that on your bio.
It's kind of, kind of pursuing that too. That kind of inspired me. It's like, all right, let's get rid of these opiates. Let's go to a different medicine. Everybody needs medicine.
Yes.
Everybody is screaming inside, screaming with anxiety or fear or doubt. And we reach for medicine. And the most readily available medicine is alcohol. Look, I have a drink once in a while, and I'm not against alcohol, but when you see what it does to families,
mm-hmm.
and what do you see what it does to people, it's like, oh man, if you're going to reach for a medicine, don't reach for opioids, don't reach for alcohol, reach for a joint. It's peaceful, it's gentle, it's non-violent. Potheads don't beat their wives.
No, they don't. They clean their houses.
They clean their house. They're gentle. When I was a bouncer in Chicago, I never broke up a fight between two potheads.
No.
So anyway, I got into it, and I just learned and been learning and learning and learning, and it's been a passion, and it's engaging, and it's wonderful. The business part of it's another discussion, but the ceremonial, the beauty of cannabis is powerful.
It is. And I feel like once we start to get some things in place around policy, like when you're talking about like Martha's Vineyard not being able to have a dispensary, once we get into more normalization and people are actually using, well, I'd say common sense and policy, but I'm not sure if that exists. But people who are able to get in, I feel like we should have more politicians that actually have a better understanding of cannabis so that they can advocate for better policies.
I think we need to, the problem is also the medical profession does not have an understanding of cannabis, because they couldn't even explore cannabis because they'd lose their license.
That's
and
true.
So you have the VA. All right, I'll tell you the story. It's my favorite story. because it was the paradigm shift in my life with cannabis. And I, went to a dispensary and there was a line of people, for autographs and photos. And I was selling our weed. And I ran into a guy in the line and he just had this look drop out of him. And I stopped. And I looked at him. I said, "Are you all right?" And he said he was a medic in the Iraq war. And he saw things that happen in the human body that nobody should ever witness. And he said, "I came back to the VA and they said I had triple PTSD." He goes, "I don't know what that means." And they gave me a bottle of Oxycontin, like 600 pills. He said, "I couldn't talk to my wife. I couldn't play with my kids. I couldn't sleep." And he goes, "I got off through cannabis." Then he goes, "Your strain, Black Diamond OG, is the only strain that I can talk to my wife, play with my children, and sleep." And he teared up and he hugged me. And I said, "Man, I didn't make this." And he goes, "No, but you're a steward." Well, that was the shift for me.
Yeah.
And, like I said earlier, that old parable in the Bible, you should entertain the strangers because they may be angels unawares. And this guy was an angel. And that's why I talk to people all the time in dispensaries and do my meet and greets. And I spend too much time with people, I've been told, but I want to hear. I want to hear their heart. I want to hear how this medicine is affecting them. So anyway, I don't know. I'm babbling now.
Discover the power of Yorma's Choice CBD products. When we chose a sober life, we searched for the best CBD to manage our chronic pain. In Raywood, Kentucky, the home of Bickett and Boone, we found the perfect solution. Yorma's Choice is a range of topicals, tinctures, bath salts, and gummies. Choose Yorma's Choice for pain-free living. Shop now at furpeaceranch.com. FURPEACERANCH.com.
No, you're not. You're not. It's really important because it's something that people don't really realize unless they bear witness to it. I mean, I got into my work. I was in civil rights. I had cancer in my 30s. That's how I got into cannabis, because I used it during my treatment. And when I, decided not to go back to school instead of going back in the office, I took a job in a dispensary because I thought it'd be fun. And you get to see how...
Oh, well, you get everything. You are the one. The bud tenders are the ones, because they're the one between the plant and the patient. And they're the ones that guide these people to, choices, whether it's a gummy or a chocolate or RSO or sativa or indigo, whatever it is. They know they're like pharmacists almost. They know what to recommend to help these people because they hear all the stories.
Right. They do.
And there's a lot of stories of people getting off opiates, which is what I really love.
Oh, it's the best. Opiates, benzodiazepines, all sorts of things that have harmful side effects people are getting off of. I was doing it back in the 215 days when we were still measuring out flowers. And so you had this intimate relationship with the buds themselves. And it was a very different thing.
The relationship with that feminine energy.
Yes.
I mean, even the oracle in mythology, the oracle is a feminine god. The power of the feminine energy you have to submit to, because it will guide you to where you're supposed to be. And that's what I've been trusting in. And this plant's going to lead me to where I'm supposed to be. Not just smoking it, but, I'm not a big smoker. I'm kind of a lightweight, actually. But for our industry, where we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to help. And we are making a difference. I feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel like our industry is going beyond cannabis and showing people a whole new way to be able to do business, to have compassion, to
business is everything. Business is everything.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about the real context of cannabis. Businesses difficult in this industry.
It's extraordinarily difficult, but I feel like there are some people who have really good heart that are trying to change the way things are. Even though we have people coming from other corporate areas that are they're bringing some of their bad toxic habits, and policy is keeping a lot of these issues aware out
Taxing,
there.
I mean, taxation. I mean, in Illinois, last year they collected $472 million in cannabis taxes. And the same year they collected 272 or 5 million in liquor taxes. There's a lot more liquor stores and bars than there are dispensaries.
Yep.
So now we're just booming the black market. It's like, come on, now people are smoking stuff that hasn't been tested. You don't know if it's from the organized crime people or legacy growers. Legacy growers I trust more, but that organized crime, they make a bunch of auto flour and they throw a bunch of shit on it. And they make it, turn it, sell it. I don't want to get into it. I get upset about it.
Oh, totally understand. We don't have to talk about that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I do. I love seeing going to a farm, seeing a grow for the first time. I always tell people, if you only have had your cannabis in a jar, you have to go to a farm and you have to be amongst those plants because there's nothing like it. It will change your life.
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
Very powerful. Especially like 2 weeks before you harvest. I mean, it's just gorgeous. The smell, you get great energy in that room. And we play music for them.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who do. When you do your show, do you show a lot of that?
I think in the first season we did one episode around it. I was getting upset that they were playing the wrong music. They were playing, it's like, no. In the afternoon, in the morning we play Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye. In the afternoon, early afternoon, we play a little Bob Marley, a little reggae, and then in the afternoon, deep afternoon, we play, blues, a little rock, and then 2 weeks before we harvest, we play gospel music.
I love it.
I want the girls to know that they're moving into the light to go out and to heal. So we play this celestial, beautiful gospel music for them. It's fun.
I know they're all your babies, but are there any in particular that are your favorites?
Oh, well, Captain Jack's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got some new genetics that are insanely great. We on the TV show, we went to Big Sur and hunted out the Big Sur holy weed, and we found it, sage. Mojave he's been keeping the sage for decades. And so we're about to release sage. That's nice because it's got a little sativa in it, which is nice. I like that. It's like an old weed. It's like an old hippie weed where, you see footage of people dancing and beating the drums at concerts and stuff. That was the weed they were smoking in San Francisco and Monterey and during that boom of the hippie generation. That was stuff that made you feel good and fun. And then what happened was they had to move the weed up to Humboldt under trees, and they had to blend strains in order to survive in the shade. And then all of a sudden these compounds with THC was like, 28%,
It's too much.
And, well, there's a difference between getting high and getting stoned. I'm much more of let's get a little high opposed to stone. But some people want the stone. Your body chemistry is different. They need that. So I don't judge it. It's just, for me, I like that one. So that one's good. And the cherry pie I have is really great because
I'm a fan of the
it's
cherry
got about
pie.
3% terpenes and about 19 and 20 THC. And the entourage of that particular strain just chills you out. And it's like my wife at the time, my former wife, she couldn't tell if I smoked or not. That's how light this was, right? But everything she said was beautiful. So I called it the marriage counselor. And it made me charming. It's like, where do you want to eat? And I'm going, maybe we can eat anywhere. We can go to Taco Bell as long as you're sitting across from me. I was like, wow, I'm so charming. So I love the cherry pie. We sell out of it quick because in Oregon, it's gotten a reputation of being called the marriage counselor. So a lot of women are going like, hey, you need this. Get the cherry pie.
I love it. That would be my husband's weed, although he is quite charming anyway. But he's also one of those people where, as I mentioned before we got on, he played with the dead, but he's also my 2-hit wonder because, it only takes a little.
That's me. I literally take one hit, blow half of it out, wait a little bit, and I take the second hit and then blow half of it out, take the other half in. Just nice and easy. Although, you know what? I've been experimenting. We're making this brick hash up in New England. Fresh frozen. It's cold pressed, and it is really good. I love the high. It's nice. It's mellow, and you can still talk and be charming, and we're selling out of that too. I mean, that we went to another farm to grow more weed just to meet the capacity for it. But it's really good. The Blues Brothers Brick Hash, really good.
Well, when we were mentioning that you were going to be on the show, one of the comments was, he makes a great hash.
Go on.
And I do love a good solventless extract. I love hashes. They're just so aromatic, and as they start to age, they change, and it's such a. Do you find that, being a creative, do you get taken in by the creative process around cannabis, and when you're consuming, do you find that it helps with creativity at all?
Well, that was the thing about the Captain Jack strain. It was like he was the weed dealer for Saturday Night Live back there in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Danny came up with cone heads and that stuff because of it. And we took it one night, and there was like 6 of us around the fireplace outside of my house. And I go, I got a Captain Jack joint, And we split that joint. And for the next 45 minutes, we were laughing so hard. But what was interesting was everybody was adding on. You'd say something and they would add on to that, and they would add on to that. It was like very collaborative. And we had so much fun together. And I was like, I see, Danny. It really does spark that creative imagination, So yeah, I think it helps with the development of stuff. I never do anything when I perform.
Right.
But in that development process, it does open your head a little bit.
I find that because I sing and write jazz, and if I have like a tiny puff before I go into the studio to record or perform.
Yeah, well, you talk about jazz, baby. What came first, cannabis or jazz? I don't know.
Right.
Like chicken and egg. I mean, that's the jazz, man. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, you can float all day.
They don't call it jazz cabbage for nothing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's where it's at, man. Grooving, just grooving, man. Man, those cats down in New Orleans, man, they were the first ones. They got it from that Caribbean, Jamaican, shipping, and it would bring it over, but that's also where they targeted those guys,
Yeah.
Getting into the DEA.
Yeah. There's
musicians. Come on, they're not criminals. Give me a break.
No, they're just creatives and people who want to feel good.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Speaking of creative, I realized that as an actor, my purpose in what I do is to make people feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Endorphins, these from laughing. You may come to the theater and you may get in a little argument with your husband about parking, or it's been a long week and you're tired. You maybe had a drink and now it's Friday and you're tired. Bitching and moaning, and you might get to the theater a little late. But after the show, you feel great. You make up with your husband because you guys laughed together and you had fun. So feeling good, nobody should feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
And cannabis, I realized I'm still on purpose. It's about making people feel better, whether it's from anxiety, or whether it's from pain, whether it's from chemotherapy, whether it's from, or just the touch of your lover's skin, or listening to music, or PTSD. I mean, all those things are in the wellness of cannabis,
Truth. And with your career and how much you've done, I always say conversation is normalization. And you're a big part of that conversation, creating normalization and more conversations about the use. And it's a very impactful thing that you do outside of the farm, but just your presence and how the conversations that you create they can't be discounted. Looking to grow your cannabis business and expand your network? Join the National Association of Cannabis Businesses for just $50 a month and unlock exclusive access to new commercial opportunities and clients across the industry. Enjoy special discounts, free advertising, and access to members-only content. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, NACB tailors its memberships to propel you forward. Visit nacb.com now and join the leading community dedicated to cannabis business excellence.
Well, thank you. I don't think of it that way, but that's nice to hear. Thank you.
It's true, because when we see people that we admire and they're doing creative things and they're starting these conversations, people stop and reflect, and they start to.
Well, I mean, part of that was part of the purpose of growing Belushi.
Yeah.
Trust me, it wasn't a money-making operation. I actually put money in to create that show and sustain it, but it was threefold. It was the education.
Mm-hmm.
Bring people into, if they see how clean it is, they see it's like farming, they see how to do it, maybe they'll experiment with it, and then the other thing was, of course, comedy, which makes you feel good. And ultimately, it's like the Blues Brothers, a mission from God. It's like, we got a purpose here to make people feel good, educate them, and expose them to the normality and the gentleness of this plant.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's amazing. I always look for my heart's work, and I thought it would be in civil rights, and I did love my work in civil rights, but it didn't fulfill me as much as the work that I do with education and policy and getting to talk to people like you. It's being able to help people live happier, healthy lives, and to be able to safely use cannabis in a way that they actually enjoy the experience. There's nothing like that.
Yeah, but there's also nothing like eating too much. Like taking a little too many edibles. That's the worst.
Yeah.
God, I'm so happy now that they have edibles with accurate measurement of how many grams, how much THC, because boy, that edible thing will turn people off our market in a heartbeat if they eat too much.
Yeah, that's where the education comes in, because
start slow.
Slow and low. And, I had a really strong drink once before I was going through chemo. I was going to talk to my oncologist, and I was like, Kevin, I'm too high. I got to go home. And then I went and bought a $500 espresso machine online. You don't shop while you're high either.
No. Yeah.
And that's what got me to watch my edibles.
Oh, man.
But I'm so glad to have you here today. And it's so Before we close up, what are some things that you're excited and hopeful about?
I was thinking about it the other day. I mean, how long has Colorado been legal? 7 years?
Yeah, probably maybe closer to 8.
Yeah, and then you look at the stats, and it didn't do what people were worried about: create crime, create violence, create a society, a culture there that was lazy, or it. Gosh, that experiment really worked. Colorado's great. It's a great state. People are great. So I'm excited by the idea that now Congress and everybody can see that we have all this time with legal cannabis and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that things are turning around. But, the Schedule 1 thing is a big deal. Different states are coming on, and people are finding some help, especially in our times, from COVID. Like I said, everybody's screaming, and they need a little medicine. I mean, they've been using medicine from the beginning of time, and it was always alcohol. And I don't know. Let's shift it a little bit. Not destroy families. Let's bring families and community together.
I love that. And also, they were worried about access to kids, and it's actually done the thing where kids don't think it's cool. The studies out of Colorado showed that kids weren't even as interested because precocious children want things they can't have. And when it's normalized and your uncle's smoking it, you're like,
right?
Not so much.
That's interesting.
But I just really want to thank you for joining me today. I loved our conversation. You're just so much fun to talk to, and I'm glad that we didn't get so much into the business and we talked more about the reasons that we're really here.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about purpose, right?
It is.
The business, I always felt, even as an actor, you follow your passion, you follow your purpose. Money comes.
Yeah.
You don't have to chase it, So stay in purpose. Let's help ever, hurt never.
Right. And for people who want to try your flowers and your hashes, what states are you in now?
Oh, we're in 15 states. You got to go to the website. They'll tell you what dispensary and everything.
Perfect.
Yeah, but we're in Massachusetts and Michigan, and we're just starting up in Ohio and Missouri and Maryland. It's just a great state. Do great. Maryland, or New Mexico, or Arizona, or South Dakota, Nevada, Oregon, Mississippi. I know I'm missing something, but and we just bring on states.
I love it.
New states, and we're talking about Canada, and now we're talking about the Netherlands and Germany, Albania.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening in Germany. I've been talking to colleagues in Berlin. I can't wait to see what happens, and I really can't wait until we get our act together here and are able to do more interstate commerce and really spread the love.
I mean, Schedule 1. I mean, I know California, Oregon, and Washington State all passed laws in the state legislature to cross over state lines. And so if it goes out Schedule 1, I think people are just going to do it, see what happens.
Yep.
But you got to go into a state that accepts it. But those 3 states right there on the coast could interchange weed all day long.
We'll share some of that good sun-grown weed all over the place. Over the place. Well, Jim, thank you. It was a pleasure. And nice talking with you too. And I really look forward to seeing more episodes of your show and eventually trying Growing Belushi
on Discovery on Demand, but you can get it on Mac. You can get it on Hulu. It's all over. You can get it. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on not TikTok even. So check out the show. It's fun and it's funny and it's us. It's about us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everyone, remember, if you like listening, please give us a review, share it with a friend. Let us know what your favorite episodes are. And if you'd like to stay in touch over social media, we are Planted with Sara Payan on Facebook and Planted with Sara on Instagram and Twitter. You can also go to our website, www.plantedwithsara.com, or listen to us on our parent network, Radio Misfits Network, where there are other great podcasts, like one of my favorites, the Winemakers Podcast. So check it out. You can listen to Planted wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, whether that's Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher. Tune in. We are there. So join us. And until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, it's a wild world out there. Be good to one another. Until next time, take care.